What is going on, everybody? Hope all of you are doing well. Today, we're going to be taking a closer look at Candyman Farewell to the Flesh Blu ray from Scream Factory. This is the second film in the Candyman trilogy. Now, unfortunately, this is not a collector's edition release, so you're not going to get tons of features, you're not going to get cool commissioned artwork. It's just a standard Blu-ray under the Scream Factory name. There are some features, and there is reversible artwork. So let's go ahead and take a closer look. So right off the bat, we have some really cool artwork here with one of the characters, and then we have like this little background of Candyman himself, and then of course the title of the film. And I like that they went with um, a second subtitle rather than a numbered sequel like we do with a lot of movies out there. We actually ended up just getting Candyman Farewell to the Flesh, which I do like, and I think it fits rather than just calling it Candyman 2 or like the third one, Candyman 3. As much as I do like sequels that have a number to them, some movies don't need it, and it fits perfectly when they don't. So yeah, really cool cover, and then the spine, and then the back we have a description of the film and the Blu-ray itself. We got the special features, all your credits, and then like your specs and stuff like that, who it's released by, your copyright, and all that fun stuff. So not bad. And no slipcover. I believe this is one of the movies that did not include a slipcover. I think it's only just exclusive for the collector's editions out there. This is a single disc release with artwork. And then we do get reversible artwork, but to be honest with you guys, the reversible artwork, in my opinion, it's not the greatest. It might be hard to see because I am using the natural light from my window, so I do apologize. So that is the artwork. Not the greatest, I'm going to be honest. I mean, look at what they left, all that extra space. If they were going to do reversible artwork, then it would have made sense to just give this film commissioned artwork. You don't necessarily need to have tons of features. You could have just gave us the features that we have on here and just gave us commissioned artwork, because I feel like the reversible artwork is just really a waste, if I'm going to be honest with you. But all in all, it's still not a bad release, and Scream Factory ended up just doing the first two films. Vestron would later, and they would release the third and final film in the franchise. So not bad to have all three Candyman films on Blu-ray. Yes, it's two of them are by one studio and the other by a different, but at least we have them on Blu-ray. But I will state this: I feel like a lot of companies out there should really take a page out of Scream Factory. And why is that? Because Scream Factory was able to work with other studios to come out with the ultimate set, that being the Halloween set. And then they would turn around and do the same thing again with the Friday the 13th box set. So I feel like if Arrow, Scream Factory, or all these other companies were able to work together to release something really cool, then we could see a lot of movies out there get a box set in some way. The Phantasm is another one. I believe one company owned the sequels while another company owned the rights to the first movie. But we eventually would get a box set, a Blu-ray box set with all the movies. So it can work. There are still a lot of films out there that have yet to get a full complete box set. Hellraiser is a prime example. Candyman is another example. I mean, they even did it with Child's Play. Arrow did it. And Scream Factory was able to release the entire series on separate 4K releases. So it can be done. I don't know why it hasn't. Basket Case is another one that could, be the studios that own the rights to the first, and the other studio that owns the rights to the sequels. I'm getting a little tongue twisted here. Could potentially release a box set, and I think it would make money. I truly believe so. Same with the Maniac Cop trilogy. So I don't know why we haven't gotten multiple box sets like that, but don't get me wrong, we've got places like Blockbuster box sets where he is just killing the game, making these custom boxes for your Blu-rays, 4Ks, steelbooks, and yeah. So that's the one thing I love about having alternatives when it comes to just collecting. You have a lot of individuals who really put the time and effort to give us something that these studios won't do. So there's always that, which I think is fantastic. And there's also another individual that I am part of a Facebook group where this person ends up making slipcovers. They make custom slipcovers that are really cool, and they will also do, kind of copies of the slipcovers that came with the Blu-rays and 4Ks that, after a while, they stop printing them, and a lot of people miss out on those, so you're able to get those custom slips, which is pretty cool. So between Blockbuster box set and this user that I found that on this Facebook group that does these slipcovers, you have a great alternative. You can spice up your collection in a way. So now let's get on to the special features, since I've rambled on a little too long. So we don't have a whole lot, but for what we have, I think it's better than having nothing. So we get audio commentary with the director, Bill Condon. We get new interviews with actor Tony Todd and Veronica Cartwright. I like the fact that they were able to get both of them, especially Tony Todd, because when you think of actors in the horror community that are big, Brad Dourif, Robert Englund, Kane Hodder, Tony Todd being one of them. So to get Tony Todd, I think is pretty cool. I've seen interviews. I know they've tried to work out, a lot of these studios have tried to work out deals with some of these actors, for the films that they're releasing. A lot of times they pass on them because they may not have been the best experience or anything like that, or the actor or actress is asking way too much. But the fact that they got Tony Todd is pretty awesome. And then you get the theatrical trailer, which is pretty cool. I like to revisit those old first trailers that came out, when the movie was first coming out to theater. So I think that's pretty cool, even though a lot of people don't consider it a special feature. I like to think it is. The film was released in 1995 and has a runtime of 91 minutes. So, not bad. Is it as good as the first movie? No. The first movie is, hands down, is going to be the best Candyman film. You could argue with somebody, and, at the end of the day, the first one outshines all of them. It's what started the franchise. Could a lot of these horror sequels gone in different directions? Absolutely. But I feel like with the Candyman sequels, for what we got, I don't think they're too bad, especially the third film, which I will be doing a closer look at. That delved more into his backstory, which I do like. So, all in all, even though the sequels are not as good as the original, I think they still have some type of enjoyment. I still find the films to be good for what they are. By no means are they masterpieces, but they're pretty decent sequels compared to other films that have had sequels out there. So all in all, I feel like Candyman Farewell to the Flesh is a nice addition to have into the, Scream Factory collection, or just horror collection in general. And Scream Factory, of course, did release the first movie, and not only them, but Arrow also released the first movie as well. So really, if you're looking to add that to your collection, then, see what kind of fits you. I think all the special features may be the same. There may be some differences. So maybe it won't hurt to double dip. But if you're not looking to do that, then just go with the best edition you find worth your money and your time. And yeah, wish I could say more, but thank you guys so much for tuning in to this video. Definitely give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and comment down below what your thoughts are on the sequel. Keep an eye out, as I will be working on the third, Candyman film, as we'll take a closer look at that one. And I also have a closer look at the first Candyman that was released by Scream Factory on 4K. So that video is available, and I will be doing a playlist after I finish filming the video on the third Candyman film. So with that being said, I'm Film Talk with Mikey. Till next time, we'll talk films. You guys have a good one. Take care, and I'll see you guys soon.